Hey y'all, good morning. I decided to do another episode of Dark Girl Chronicles. I am up for the morning. I was up doing content for Budget Beauty, hence why my face is all done up and I got makeup on yet again. And I have my hair done up with a new wig. I was up and filmed my weekly episode for our main series at Budget Beauty, and so where I do makeup look from start to finish. And so I was like, well, let me go ahead and do an episode of Dark Girl Chronicles while I got the time and I'm already done up and face is already ready to go. Let me go ahead and do an episode. So here we are. So I said in the last episode we were going to talk about the fiasco and the foolishness and the fuckery that was my sister-in-law's wedding behind the scenes. To set the scene, y'all know I don't care for my parents-in-law, not that much. I don't actively go out of my way to dislike people, but I just, if I find I don't like folks, I just don't spend time with them. And I try not to be involved. Y'all know this. This is not anything new. I have practiced this since forever. Okay? Especially, y'all know, dealing with my own family during COVID and the ensuing shit show that happened when my aunt died in 2020. Well, I need to clarify that. When my other aunt died, the second aunt died in 2020. Okay? And the aftermath and the shit show that was the aftermath of all of that. Okay? So y'all know I don't fool with folks I don't care for. And true to form, I have I'm no contact with my shithead sibling and my shithead aunt that, insists upon trying to be, I guess, I don't know, I guess she thought she was gonna get me in line, but I have been no contact since I made that video way back 4 years ago when COVID was raging in 2020. So in fact, I've only seen her once in the entire time, and I have nothing to say. Not a word. Did not say a word. Pretended like I didn't see her and went on about my business. So I know she know what the deal is, because she didn't say anything to me either. And then gonna tell my other Aunt A, gonna tell her, because Aunt A gonna say, oh yeah, Aunt R did say she saw you come in. And I was with the work bestie when we were going to get some food for lunch. And we had walked down and we got some food from this. We were going to pick up some food from this restaurant that is in the same building as Aunt A's place of employment, because we all work in downtown Columbia. So she's talking about, Aunt R said she did see you come in. I was like, I'm sure she did. I saw her ass too, and guess what? I ain't said a word to her. Like, fuck off. Like, I pretend you don't know me. Like, you see me on the street, you best pretend you don't know my black ass and keep it moving, because I don't want to talk to you, and I don't need to talk to you about anything. There's nothing I need to talk to you about. Not a goddamn thing. So when we saw her sitting there, I told work bestie, I said, keep it moving. We're going in this restaurant and we're gonna pretend like that's not my aunt sitting over there on the on that chair there. We're gonna pretend that's not her, but that is in fact one of my relatives. And I had already told him what the deal was, so it wasn't that he didn't know what the situation was and why we weren't stopping to talk. But then after we came back out the restaurant, then Aunt A saw me and she was like, oh hey, and I was like, hey. Like I really wasn't trying to stop and talk. Not really. I was really trying to pretend like I didn't see them sitting there. So it's like that. It very much is like that. I don't. I'm very neutral is a better way to put that. But I forgot I hadn't said anything about this. I don't recall saying anything about this in Dark Girl Chronicles as a coda to all of the foolishness after the funeral in 2020, and the subsequent cussing out of R for her foolishness and fuckery. But so it turns out too. So I don't go to family events or anything. I don't participate in family group chat either. I assume they still have one, but I don't get involved in it. And if I feel like if you want me to know something, you'll call me and tell me. But otherwise, I'm not going out of my way to talk to you. I'm not checking in with you. I ain't doing none of that. You got enough nieces that I don't need to do that. And on top of that, I don't feel like my presence is welcome. So I'm not going to go. We don't go where we're not wanted. And I don't call people who don't care about me and my well-being. So I just don't. I don't go out of my way. I learned to very quickly to be mindful of where I'm going and the people I'm around. And when I get a vibe and I get an inkling that you don't want to spend time with me and I'm annoying you, I remove myself from the situation. And you ain't got to worry about my black ass being there after that. I promise you won't have to worry about that because I will make myself scarce. You ain't got to tell me twice that you don't particularly want to spend time with me. So there's that. But yeah, no, I don't spend time with my relatives at all. I make it a point not to. I've seen my in-laws more in the last 4 years than I have probably in the last the entire time Brandon and I have been together, which is 12 years. I've seen them more in the last probably year or so than probably the combined 12 years that Brandon and I have been together. See, it is what it is. But so I say all of that to mention dealing with this wedding. So y'all know my sister-in-law got married. Okay, we did a video while I was there, and the day of the wedding, we did a Dark Girl Chronicles episode. Did one after talking about the wedding, and it was real nice, and it was very nice. I really enjoyed myself at this wedding and had fun. Now Meemaw was a little tired after the wedding itself because, listen, I'm older now and Meemaw get tired a little bit easier than she used to. And on top of that, it was hot out there and that heat will just kill you. So I was like, okay, well, all right. I'm happy for you and I'm glad you had a good wedding. I'm so happy it went off well for you and y'all look stunning and fantastic food. The venue was gorgeous. Everything was real nice. But it's time for Meemaw to go lay down now. Okay? Meemaw finna go lay down and take this makeup off and go lay down because Meemaw tired. Alright? So, the age difference between me and his sister is probably like, the baby is probably like 12 years, I want to say. I think it's like 12 years. So yeah, I'm the Meemaw sister-in-law. I was like, listen, I gotta go lay down. So yeah, we had a great time. And so, but leading up to, so we're gonna get into the foolishness and the drama. So leading up to, so in December, we had Christmas party, family Christmas party. In-laws was all, yay, Christmas party. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I'm just not a super social person. I mean, I can be, and I don't mind going to parties and things. I just am. I'm more of a homebody, especially in old age. I'm more of a homebody. So we went to the Christmas party, but we had a good time. It was nice. So at the Christmas party, I met. I think that was when I met. No, I met the groom well before that. Okay, but I talked to him that night, and I talked to sister-in-law, and so we were sitting there, and I said, well, what colors, what y'all venue look like? He was showing me the venue. He showed me the venue, and he was telling me the colors, and he said it's gonna be neutral colors, and I said, oh, that'll be real nice. That'll be really, really nice. I said, okay, all right. Let me, I said, good deal. Thank you for letting me know. Let me start getting some ideas together for color. So I said, and she shortly thereafter sent me a link to the Pinterest board that she had created for ideas. If you were looking for ideas for the color scheme and, like what black tie is. Okay. So, excuse me. So we got all that together. I said, oh, let me go ahead and add this right now. So she sent it to me. I was like, yay. She tagged me because I'm already on Pinterest anyway. And I've been on Pinterest for a long time. So I was like, well, let me go ahead. I add my board. So I looked at the board. I was like, okay, all right. I see where we're going with this. Okay. All right. So let me start getting some ideas together. This is going to be important in a minute. So I said, well, let me start getting some ideas together. But let me find out about, I said, well, let me get, because what we're going to do is we're going to take Brandon's suit and we're going to buy for him, and then we're going to buy for me based on what we buy for him. Okay. That was December. So at Christmas time, I'm sitting there on Pinterest looking at dresses. Okay. And on Amazon already looking at dresses for myself. And I told him, he and I talked about colors and things. And I said, well, this is her color scheme. This is what she's wanting folks to wear. And so I said, well, based on your skin tone, that beautiful brown chocolate, we want something that's going to offset that. You don't want something that's going to blend in. You want something that's going to offset it and be super striking. Okay. So that's what we did. We started looking at suits and things. Okay. So that was December, January. All right. Bridal shower was in April. So we got ready for that. She sent the invitation. I was like, wait, we went to the bridal shower. So I was like very excited. And I was like, all right, well, while I'm there, I'll talk to her. Still hadn't found a dress yet. We were waiting to get his suit. And I said, well, we'll wait. It's black tie, so you can get a tux. But we'll wait and see. We'll find out what what we should do. I'll talk to her at the bridal shower and see. Okay. So the bridal shower comes middle of April. And we did talk to her. So it was at this bridal shower that she says, well, we were thinking about having you walk stepmother down the aisle. Beauty Queen Bees. Okay. Now, I must interject here and say, Beauty Queen Beast has calmed down significantly. Okay. I don't know if I would even call her Beauty Queen Beast at this point. She's actually cool. I really like my stepmother-in-law. I do. I really like her. She is, she's very good at getting things together and wrangling folks and taking care of things, taking charge. And she be in the background and she handling things, but she ain't reminding you that she's handling things. She'll update you and all, but it actually turns out she's actually really good. And I really like her. I do. I really like her. So all of that is to say, she was getting everything together. She and sister-in-law's godmother, who's also a really nice lady. I really like her a lot. She's really pretty too. I'm like, whoa, girl, what? How? Tell me your secrets. But she's a really sweet lady. I really like her and her husband. So, and keep in mind, godmother is also best friend. Okay, the best friend of stepmother-in-law, and and her husband is also the best friend of father-in-law. Okay, or one of his best friends. Okay, but I'd go ahead and gather to say that's his best friend. So they were hosting the bridal shower. So we get there, everybody looks lovely, had a lovely time. And she tells me after, my sister-in-law tells me after, she says, well, we were thinking about having Brandon walk her down the aisle. And I said, oh, well, that would be nice. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure he'd have no problem with doing that. I'll let him know. If he hadn't already talked to his daddy. Okay. So keep in mind, this is like April 19th is when this bridal shower took place. The wedding was June 7th. Okay. So I said, well, yeah, that's no problem. We'll be ready to go have what we need. And she said then, sister-in-law said then, the bride and her mother said, well, for him, let's think about getting him a tux. Get him a tux, because we're probably gonna wear black suits. Everybody's gonna either a black suit or a tuxedo. Okay. Now keep in mind, my stepmother-in-law and my sister-in-law are the ones who have told me this information. Keep that in mind. This is important. So at the same time I was at the bridal shower, because this was not a co-ed bridal shower. This was a singular female only family and friends, female friends, and family, female family members of the bride. Okay. And of the groom, but of the bride mostly. Okay. So the groom showed up, which was adorable. He showed up and he gave her a bouquet of flowers. And I thought that was the sweetest thing. He's a sweet fella. I like him a lot too. I do. I think he's a really good match for her. And they seem to have found their soulmate in each other. And he's a really, really good dude. I like him a lot. Real nice fella. Got manners, real polite. He seems like he has a lot of fun. But I like him a lot. So I was very happy, that she found somebody, that it seems to be on her speed, matches her speed, and, keeps her on her toes. But, and I feel like she keeps him on his toes too. So I like that he showed up and did that. But anyway, so that's also important. And I mention this because I told Brandon beforehand, I asked him, I said, are you going to go? Do you want to go with me when I go to this bridal shower? I've been invited, so I would like to go. And he said, well, yeah, I'll go up to Spark Murray. I mean, it's, family up there. I'll go, spend time with my daddy and talk to him and find out, what he want to do with this wedding. So while we were at the bridal shower, he was with his daddy. Okay. Now I said before that, I said, well, find out what your daddy gonna do that morning, because this is not a co-ed bridal shower. So he need to find himself something to do and make himself scarce. You do too. So wherever he is going, you need to probably be going too. Okay. And then you come back and get me. And he said, fine, that's fine. I'll come back and get you. And yeah, now he said, I'll spend time with daddy. I'll find out what daddy doing. So he did. Daddy ain't have nothing planned. I said, now wait a minute. Let me make sure I got this straight. Your youngest child is getting married. She done married this really nice fella that you seem to like. Okay. You mean to tell me you ain't have nothing planned for the young man? What you doing? I'm like, what the shit are you doing? Why don't you have something planned for the young man? Why are you not, hey fella, come on, let's go to breakfast. Let's sit down. Let's go have us a golfing outing or something. Let's go sit down and talk. Because, things is getting real. Okay. In 2 months, you will marry into this family. Now, yes, we like him. Her mother and I, we like you a lot. We want to, I already got the gist that they really like him and that they are really, really happy with her choice. Okay, cool. But that's the time when you take him and you take him and her brother and the other, if he was in town. I don't think my other brother-in-law was in town. So, because I think sister-in-law just came up. My other sister-in-law, who has subsequently also love her to death. She's a sweet girl. I do. I love her to death. She's one actually turned into one of my favorite people. She's matured a lot and gotten level-headed and started having some sense. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of person, this is who I want to know. Okay. If you are important, and you are important to my husband, you're going to be important to me. Okay. So I'm like, all right, listen, sister-in-law, sister. Okay. So I'm just like, listen, we got to make this work because this is for life. So I'm going to be around whether or not you want me around or not. So if I were you, I'd get used to me being here and I'd make the effort. I didn't say that to her, but I made that kind of obvious. So no, she's fantastic now. Love her to death. I do. I love both of my sisters-in-law. They are really good people. Fantastic folks. I do. I really like them. And we get along really well. So there's that. And I'm always happy to see both of them. So yeah, I'm just like, yay. So, but that's going to be important too. That part's going to be important too. But anyway, so I don't think my other brother-in-law came. I don't remember him being there because I think he stayed home with the kids. And so I said, but this is the perfect time for the three of you to get together and go since you're up here. But they didn't do anything. They went to breakfast and then brother-in-law went and got flowers. He went and got the flowers for his bride, which was sweet. So I was like, so then what were y'all doing the whole morning? Well, we went and got breakfast and that was about it. And then we went back to the house. And I'm like, all right, so that's important too. Okay, so after I talked to them at the bridal shower, we went home. And I told him, I said, well, this is what I was told. We need to think about a black suit or a tux for you because she wants you to walk stepmother-in-law down the aisle. And he said, oh, okay, yeah, cool. I'm fine with that. I'll do that. And he said, okay, so now I know what I need. I can go, now we can go get it. Cool. That's what we decided to do. So we decided at the beginning of May, we were going to go do this. Okay. So fast forward to the beginning of May. Very beginning of May, like the first weekend in May. He calls his sister and he says, yeah, I just want to double check before because I'm getting ready to go this weekend to get my stuff. Do y'all have a specific preference of what you want me to have? I haven't talked to Daddy, and Daddy said he didn't know if he was going to get a tux. He was going to get another tux. If he was going to use the tux he had, what he was going to do. He didn't say, okay, but he just said that, I needed a tux or a black suit. So I'm just calling to coordinate, find out, did y'all figure out exactly what you wanted me to do here before I go down to Men's Warehouse. Okay. Keep in mind, that is the conversation he had with his sister. She said, okay, I was standing there when they had this conversation. She said, okay, well, I'll call Daddy and tell him to call you. And, it should be fine. But yeah, I have Daddy call you because I haven't talked to him either, and she was busy right at the moment. So That's also important. So she got off the phone with him. And I think probably about a minute later, his phone rings. And he said, oh, it's my daddy. Let me take, I got to take this call. So I can talk to him. He wasn't expecting him to call him back right then. So he answers. Y'all, when I tell y'all, this man lost his whole ass mind. Now keep in mind, they didn't do anything with this suit in April when we were in Spartanburg to be for the bridal shower. They didn't do nothing with this suit then. The daddy calls and starts screaming at my husband. Why are you I told you what you needed to have, and and here comes the kicker. This is how I know. And I said, I knew somehow my mother-in-law was going to be involved here. I knew. This is not, keep in mind, before I tell y'all this is not my mother-in-law's child that is getting married, that got married. This wasn't her child. This ain't none of her child, okay? Nobody involved was her child, minus my husband, who was walking someone down the aisle, and it took less than 30 seconds. I literally sat there, watched him walk her down the aisle, escort her to her seat, then sit down. And it took less than 30 seconds for him to do so, okay? So that was the extent and the involvement of my husband in this, okay? While my father-in-law is doing all this ranting, he slips up and he says, your mother and I told you what you needed to have. And I immediately went, what does my mother-in-law have to do with this? So I know exactly what my mother-in-law had to do with this. I figured this out. It took probably about 30 seconds for me to figure this out. I said, you know what her problem is? You know why this is a whole thing? And before I even get to the explanation, let me back up a little bit. So he did all this hollering, did all this carrying on, cussed my husband out. And my husband said, first of all, you're going to watch who you talking to. Don't call my house with this foolishness. Second of all, I called you to check in to see what you were going to do because you hadn't finalized your plans. And you were being slack about what you were supposed to be doing. I was just trying to get my end of things together because I was going this weekend. But he couldn't even get the I was going this weekend part out because the daddy was too busy hollering and doing all this carrying on. So my husband just hung up on him. I was just like, bye. I'll talk to you when you calm down and you get some sense. Hung up on him. I said, boy, let me tell you about what happened when folks get pushed too far and they develop a spine. And they don't put up with your bullshit no more. Because that's what this was about. This was about control. All this was about control. And I said, damn, okay. So this is what I think happened. So when we came back from the bridal shower, let's back up a little bit more. When we came back from the bridal shower, we went over, it just so happens we went over to his mother's house after the bridal shower happened. Okay, like maybe a couple of days later. And so, because all of a sudden she had something for him. And I said, this ain't no coincidence. You want to know what happened at the bridal shower that you weren't invited to. That you wasn't going to be invited to because y'all ain't friends. You ain't friends with the mother. You ain't friends with the bestie. So you wasn't going to be invited. What you need to go for? That's not your child. And they don't like you. And on top of that, you're his first wife. Think about the damn optics. You don't need to be involved in any of this. None of this is your place. But when we went over there, I realized she was mad and she was salty about this bridal shower. She was very salty about it. So I had pictures. I had taken pictures and I said, I said, well, mother-in-law, I have photos from the bridal shower. I'm mean-spirited. I'm such an asshole. Because I knew she was mad about it. I knew she knew that the bridal shower had just happened and that we had gone. Because he told her he was going. He said, yeah, I'm going, I guess I'm going to Spartanburg because Lindsay's been invited to the sister's bridal shower. And so I knew she was hot about it. Child, she was 38 hot about it. So when I said, I have photos, she says, do you? I said, you want to see them? I guess. I said, okay. I'm such an incorrigible bear. So I showed her the photos and I said, yep, that was when we got there. Second wife was in the photos. Because she's hosting. Oh, and she was just, you could see the look on her face when I was showing her these photos. It was the same look she gave me at our wedding. It looked like she was making this face like she wanted to punch me in the throat. She really looked like she wanted to punch me in the face at our wedding. But then when she looking at the photo, she looked like she wanted to punch me in the throat. She really did. And I was like, that's what you get. Because you don't know how to stay in your lane and you're not a nice person. Had you been decent, you would have been allowed to. They probably would have been like, hey, come on through. Like, it wouldn't have been a problem. They probably would have been fine. Considering how long this has been a thing, child, at this point, ain't nobody concerned. But everybody know you got a hidden agenda behind the scenes anyway. Okay? Everybody know what you're doing. You're not hiding anything from anybody that ain't nobody ever figured out. It ain't like don't nobody know that you still carry a torch for your ex-husband. No, ain't like don't nobody know you use your son as a bargaining chip and a leveraging agent to be involved in bullshit you shouldn't be involved in. It ain't like don't nobody know that you tell his father that he got to go do your bidding to get things done and make sure your son is taken care of before them girls is taken care of. It ain't like don't nobody notice. You've been pulling the same bullshit for 40 years. Okay, this is nothing new. Okay, everybody involved know I'm the last to the party, and I know. It's like, stop. So it gets even better. This gets better. So after we did all that, so when I showed her the photos, so when he goes, so he said, fine, I ain't paying my daddy no attention. Screw him. I'm not paying him any attention. I will go get my stuff and I will be on point with what I need. So we went and got him a tux. Okay. So we went to we looked at David's Bridal, but we wound up going to Men's Warehouse. Because I was looking at David's Bridal for a dress too, and I wound up getting my dress off of Amazon. And so we wound up going to Men's Warehouse. He went to Men's Warehouse, got it all set up, went in there and got everything together. Suit came in early. We went and picked it up. We got a backup suit just in case. Turns out a friend of ours, his older brother owns the shop. And so we went there, got him measured and picked out and bought a suit. Okay. So real nice black suit too. So just in case. But you can always use a black suit. Okay. Whether or not you're using it for this wedding or whatever. I told him that. I said, you can always use a black suit. You need a black suit for some things anyway. And then on top of that, you need more suits in your closet anyway. So we've been trying to get his wardrobe together, get him some nice casual pieces for out in the street, get him a nice set of formal wear and nice things like that. Okay. So it turns out, so we get there. So all this drama, we got all this together. I got my dress in. Everything was ready to go. Turns out I didn't need to wait for him. I could have bought my dress way back when, but I did manage to find something on Amazon. So I was good. So we get get to the wedding festivities on Friday night. Okay. They were having keep in mind, they were having some type of event somewhere in Charlotte. And I was like, baby, we got stuck in traffic on the way up here. So I'm not trying to drive back into Charlotte. I'm just not. I don't want to do that. I wasn't staying in Charlotte anyway. I was staying outside of Charlotte for this. So we decided we were not going to go into Charlotte Friday night. We were just going to get dinner and hang around with the family, chill out. Okay. Because there was other family who didn't go. So, and then on top of that, the event that they had was like, it was expensive. And I was like, baby, I ain't got that kind of cash. I was like, I don't feel like it. I'm tired. I've been sitting in traffic. So, no. So, we just went on to the hotel. We got to the hotel for the family outside of Charlotte. And we stayed there and we had dinner and we had a good time. So, I won't say the event started at like 7 o'clock. By 6 o'clock, 6:30 or so, father-in-law slinks up. Now, you'd have been avoided your kid the whole time. You showed your whole ass before that. Okay. He gonna slink up to the table talking about y'all going to the event tonight. No. I didn't even look at it. I'm looking at this menu trying to figure out what I'm gonna eat. No. Brandon talked to him, but it was even then, it was like, we don't really want to talk to you, so say whatever it is you got to say and get the hell on. And so he was like, well, me and other brother-in-law are we gonna ride over there. Okay. Bye. Like, it was like, okay, why are you telling me this? Because I don't really fucking care. Like, I don't care. So they go on. That was Friday night. So then they come sliding back in there Friday night. Okay. And I could tell brother-in-law just really didn't want to be there. And he was trying to wrangle his children and my niece and my nephew. And it was just like, I ain't got time for whatever y'all got going on. I'm trying to get these kids and go to bed because we got to get up too early tomorrow to get things going for this wedding. So, yeah, he was just like, when he slid back in there, it was just like, I went on about my business. I talked to stepmother-in-law and got things together because I was like, where is the venue? It turns out it was on the invitation and we didn't bring our invitation with us. But it was on the invitation because I was like, I have no idea what the venue is or where it is. I saw it on the invitation, and then when we got home, I looked at it and I was like, the location sitting right here. I should have brought the invitation. I don't know what I was thinking about. But anyway, so we talked to her, and then we went to bed, okay, because we had to get up. So the next morning we get up, we go downstairs, we have breakfast. Here he come. He slides in. And I'm just like, let me get me something to eat and go on about my black ass business. I ain't thinking about this man. So Saturday wedding comes. All right. So we go back upstairs. We eat breakfast. We go back upstairs. We do get ready, spend some time, get ready. And she had already told us we needed to be there, what time we need to be there. So we got there. Okay. We actually got there super early. Which was fine. I was like, I'd rather we be super early than not on time. So we got there super early. All right. So he, when he sees us, he's like, oh, y'all look really nice. As opposed to what, motherfucker? Like, you know what? And somebody else said this to me. They were like, you seem mad. I'm like, yes, mad doesn't really cover it. Every time you see me, you got something slick and smart to say with your mouth. And whenever I see you now it's on sight when I see you. Because I don't like you. And I don't like what you represent. I don't like what you do behind the scenes either. Because you seem to think people don't know what you're doing behind the scenes. So when he's sitting up there talking about, oh, well, you guys look nice. Fuck out of here. Like, I guess you were expecting us to show up looking raggedy as hell. I suppose that's what you thought was going to happen. I was like, we've been to several events in the time that we have been together and the time that we've been married. Okay, we've lived together for 10 years at this point, okay? Y'all know, y'all have seen from the chronicling of the beginning of our relationship where it changed from friendship to romantic relationship. I've been handling the wardrobe the whole time. I style us, okay? And I make sure we look nice when we walk out the door. We don't walk out the door looking crazy, okay? Not together. Absolutely not. And not separately. When he walk out the door, if he going somewhere and it's somewhere formal, my husband looks very nice. My husband dresses well anyway. I don't have to do too much for his wardrobe. And that's the problem. We're going to get into that. So, anyway. So, it gets better. All of this foolishness, it gets better. So, she gets married. It's fantastic ceremony. Absolutely wonderful. I cried. And I'm like, Lord, don't let my makeup run. It's already hot out here. It's already 3,000 degrees out here. And I also don't want my makeup running because I'm sweating to death. But I also don't want to cry it off either. So we get to the reception. We get in the reception. Actually, before we even got into the reception part, he out there talking and he doing all this milling around and talking because, he the father of the bride. So we were sitting there and I was just like, so he slides up again. This is a recurring theme of him sliding up at the last minute and trying to sneak into the conversation. And I'm just kind of looking at him like, why are you even talking? Go away, please. So we get into the reception. And yes, I realize he paid for all of this, but that's what the fuck you supposed to do. Okay? That's going to be important too. So we get into the reception where they give us these assigned tables, which I loved how they did the table assigning. That was really nice. They did a thing where they gave you like this printout card that had your name and whoever you RSVP'd with. And then you took the card and you fed it into a machine, and the machine spit out and says where your table is. Gave you a little printout and said that. I thought that was a neat idea. It's really, really good way to do that. And it was quick process too. So everybody gets seated. We're at the tables. The bride and groom make their entrance. Bridal party makes their entrance. Okay. So then we're sitting at the table. Now it turns out we're sitting at table number 1 or table 2. We were sitting at table 2. Table 2 with father-in-law, stepmother-in-law, godmother, godfather. Okay. and the grandbabies. Because the grandbabies were there because they were in the wedding itself. They were in the little party. My niece was the flower girl and she was absolutely adorable. She was one of the flower girls, and nephew was one of the ring bearers. Okay. And the other little ring bearer was so adorable. But he was related to the groom. And so they had all the little children were adorable. They were absolutely just gorgeous little children. Well behaved too. So we're at the reception. We're sitting at the table with them. And while we're sitting there, my father-in-law has this thing of alcohol sitting there. And I'm already sitting there looking like, okay, I don't really want to be sitting here next to you, and I really don't want to talk to you. But I have to kind of suck this up for the next hour, I guess. And I'll be all right. Once I can get up from this table, I can get the hell away from you, then it'll be fine. So I'm sitting there in the middle between like how I am right now. On this side of me, this hand, is my father-in-law. On this side of me is my husband. Okay. So we're having to sit there while he's giving his toast. So he was already jumped up about the fact that they took his champagne and spread it to another table. And I was like, now why would y'all do that? But that's kind of messed up. But it was the fact that my father-in-law just kept going on and on and on and on about it. And I was like, finally, I was just like, I just looked at Brandon because I was just like, your daddy out here wilding and he getting on my nerves. So apparently he was getting on stepmother-in-law's nerves too, because she was like, listen, I don't care nothing about this liquor. You need to go on and find it or let it go. Basically is what she told him. You could tell he was getting on her nerves. You could tell. Okay. He was getting on my nerves and he was getting on Brandon's nerves. But then this is the messed up part. This is where it was so comically stupid that it's not funny, but it's funny. Cause I'm just like, the only thing you can do is laugh. If you don't laugh, you're crying. Okay. So he gets up and he does his father of the bride speech. Okay, cool. He starts talking about his daughters. He starts talking about the bride. Okay, cool. So far, cool. He starts talking about his other daughter, my other sister-in-law. Okay, where's this going? She already got married, and she's been married for like 10 years at this point. So why are we talking about her? But all right, okay, I'll allow it. She was also the matron of one of the matrons of honor. So I was just like, okay, all right, fair enough. And then there's this pause. Kind of like you see me pausing right now. There was this pause. And my stepmother-in-law noticed the pause. And it was like, you could tell everybody in the room was just kind of like, and he's like, and shit. So as he's pausing, and when I say it was a pause, it wasn't like it was a pause to gather his thoughts. It was a pause like he was finished talking. like he didn't have anything else to say. It was like that. And so my stepmother-in-law, and Brandon said he was the one who noticed that she did this. My stepmother-in-law kind of just and was like, your other child? And so she said it just low enough that I couldn't hear her, but I kind of saw her do it because I was sitting at the table with them. If I hadn't been sitting at the table, I probably wouldn't have noticed it, and neither would have Brandon. But he said he noticed her nudge him and be like, your other kid? And so he says, and actually I have 3 children. And I'm like, what? What the entire fuck, guy? Are you serious? I just kind of turned and looked at Brandon and was like, what the fuck? No, he didn't just do what I think he just did. And so it gets even better. He starts talking about how, well, my daughter is just married. Brother-in-law. We're going to call him brother-in-law 2. All right. Then my other daughter, she's married. Brother-in-law 1. Okay. Cool. And my son is, he's married my daughter-in-law, Lindsay. And I like to think that all of my children have picked very well for their spouses. Y'all, I wish y'all could have seen my face. I know it was hard because I made the face before I could catch myself. Cause I just kind of turned and looked at him like, like, motherfucker, first of all, I know you lying. Why are you sitting up here lying to these people? Oh, and you just got caught trying to not mention the firstborn. You know, the one you carry on so much about when his mama wants something done. You forget about him otherwise. But till somebody got to remind your black ass that you got a third kid. What in the world? It was the audacity of it all. I just looked at him like, I had to catch myself because I just was like, and I looked at Brandon and Brandon looked at me and he was like, and I was like, whoa, boy, when this wedding is over, we're going to have a talk. So, the wedding, after that, I ain't even hear nothing else, the hell else he said. I just was like, okay. And then I ate my really good food. The food was fantastic. And then they first danced. They cut the cake. Everybody else ate. Then they had dancing. And I didn't go do no dancing because it was entirely too many people in that one room. And I was just like, I'm not going in there. It's too many people. And no. And I'm tired. And I just want to go take this makeup off and go to bed. I've had enough excitement for one day. So, when we got back in the car to leave, we just kind of, I don't know if any of the other family picked up on it, but I haven't talked to anybody, but it was like, yeah, we deconstructed when we got back in the car. I was like, okay, was it just me or did he was like, no, Brandon said, no, it wasn't just you. No. I noticed stepmother-in-law nudge him, and that's when he said that, and it was just like, I was like, why he lied to them people? Because he said because otherwise he'd look crazy. He looked terrible for not, acknowledging his son and his son's wife, who been with her son, who been with his son longer than these people been, either one of these people been with their spouses. So we get home and I want to say, Sunday, we get back to the hotel. So Sunday morning, here he come. He slides back on in here. Sunday morning at breakfast. Okay. So then he says, so when we were leaving, because we were packing up the car to get gone. And he says, Brandon says to him, yeah, we going. We get on the road. We going home. So he says to him, when we get back home, we're going to have a talk about, we're going to have to talk. And father-in-law is all like, huh? Pikachu shocked face is what he was doing. He was like, huh? What you mean? I was like, he knew exactly what you meant. How would you get for doing all that bullshitting? Because all you had to do was not be an asshole. So this is what I believe happened. Okay. Mother-in-law was real salty and real mad about the fact that the daughter was getting married. Okay. This is not her kid. This is another reminder that this is his second marriage and that she is an afterthought, or she should be, and she is not involved. She have no involvement in this whatsoever. This wasn't her place. This ain't her purview. Mind your business. You need to sit your ass right there in Columbia and not say a word, because none of this has anything to do with you. And I'm almost certain, I wish stepmother-in-law I wish I had said something to stepmother-in-law because I sure would have had been like, girl, do you realize that busybody over there is mad up? She is not involved in this. So I believe there's twofold thing going on here. One, that she was mad about it. Two, she was extra special pissed because I handled the wardrobe for all of this. Because you all noticed when I said that he slipped up and said, your mother and I talked about this and told you what you needed to have. Why would she be involved in fooling with his wardrobe? That's not her place. This man been married for 4 years on paper. And if you really want to get greasy about it, we've been married to each other, common law, since 2015. Okay? So we're really talking 10 years in all together, okay, that we have been married, that we have considered ourselves married. And you know who he lived with them entire 10 years? Me. You know who picked out his wardrobe? Me. So any event that he has been to, his wife has picked out his wardrobe. And I know how to dress a man. I can tell you that. I know how to dress a woman. But I definitely know how to dress a man. And I know how to dress this man in particular. Okay? I know how his body type works. I know what looks good on him. I know the colors that look good on him. I know what colors he should stay away from. I'm the one who makes sure he has clothes for things. And he comes to and asks, what do you think about this? You think these things go together? You think I should wear this for this? What is the theme of the event? Do we even have a theme? Are you going to dress to theme? What are you going to wear? And then I will base what I'm wearing. And then he will ask, do you want to dress up together? You want to compliment each other? Or do you want to do different? Okay. And generally his first question is, do you want to dress pinup or not? Okay. And I'm like, it depends on what it is we doing. If we going somewhere casual, maybe not. I might throw on jeans and a t-shirt and be done with it. I might not. I'm going to put some makeup on. But, you know, your girl don't walk out the house without a face on unless we absolutely are not doing anything. So, I mean, I'm trying to figure out why you think you're still involved in picking out his clothes. And the reason why I know it's got something to do with the clothes, one, it's a loss of control for her. Before I came into the picture, and we talking a long time ago, okay? I've been girlfriend for years, okay? Years. but she used to, and she still buys some stuff. And I know she used to buy him things, and she still buys him stuff. And I don't care. If that's what you want to do for him, be my guest. If you want to buy him clothes, you see something out there in the street, and you think it's going to look good on him, be my guest. Girl, I don't care. It's your money. And if he wears it, he wear it. If he don't, he don't. I don't tell him what he gonna wear and what he ain't gonna wear. He comes to me for my opinion. So, because my opinion is important to him. So this my problem. You mad up because there's another woman in the picture who done took over the role that you thought you should have for the rest of his damn life, apparently. And you're mad because I'm not ceding control of it back to you. Why would I do that? Why would I let your mom? Why would I let his mama dress him? That's so dumb. I don't understand why you would think I would let his mama dress him. I don't. So the fact that she even thinks this is foolishness. But I noticed she'll run and buy him stuff and, well, Brandon, I got you some things. Well, I know you don't buy any clothes for yourself. Bitch, who you think buying it for him? Because, see, y'all want to discount the fact that he has a whole ass wife over here. So, when the daddy was acting the fool and running in here and talking about, well, what your mama said you need to do, I said, you better go ahead and text him back since he's doing all this foolishness. You text him back because he texted him too. Time I call me, I don't even remember what the original text message said from his daddy, but he replied in the text message. Oh, he lit into him. He lit into both of them, and he told him, "You pass the message along to her since she seems to be your minder." You pass the message along to her. I have a whole wife. A whole wife. I've been married to this woman for 4 years on paper. I've been married to her otherwise for another 10. Like, stop. Stop it. Y'all not finna sit up here and be disrespectful to me or my wife. And you're not gonna sit up here and act like my wife don't have no say so in my life and she doesn't exist. Like, that's my whole wife. What are you talking about? And my wife picks out my clothes. Like, go sit down somewhere. Because neither one of you are making any sense right now. Go sit down. And you let her know I said. She need to stay in her lane and mind her business. Because y'all act like I'm some little dumb teenager that can't, take care of myself. And that I don't have a whole wife. He showed me exactly what he put in there. And I added a point or two that I wanted to make sure he did not miss. He read it over again. He agreed with my points that I made. Especially the point about I'm married. I'm a grown man who married. Like, stop. Last time I checked, my name on something, signed on something meant a whole lot. So I don't think that the two of you need to be in charge of anything. You need to be worried about yourselves. And why the hell is mama involved? Like, ain't nobody answered that question yet. Talking about his dignitaries coming. What damn dignitaries? Because when we got there, that was the first thing he said was, now I wonder what dignitaries he was talking about. Because I sure don't see nobody here that's important. It was some bullshit, and it was an excuse to be authoritarian here and try to have some measure of control over an event that you wasn't invited to, that you wasn't supposed to be involved in the first place. You shouldn't even damn known about it. Oh, and then the mama gonna get involved, and this I knew it was her behind the scenes the whole time. So here she come about the goddamn haircut again. So she paid for him to go to this thing to get his haircut for this event. And I'm like, okay. And I told him, he talking about, well, because at first, when she offered it, I said, see, she ain't shit anyway. That's why I don't pay her no attention. Because I'm going to just do what I'm damn going to do anyway. Fuck her. So he said, well, my mom offered to get my hair cut. And she's sending me to the spa thing to get it done. So he went and got it cut. Fine. Be cute with it. I don't care. But I told him, I said, you better not ever come back in this house telling me about how we need to concede something to somebody. Just so, well, we should just let her. Okay, well, you just need to walk your ass on back over there and stay over there and leave my damn car when you go. Because I co-own that car with you. I'm the one who signed on that goddamn car. So you leave my car out there in the front of this house since you just letting her. You just let her do what she want to do and take over the rest of your life then. And when it does not work out for you the way you think it's going to, I don't want to hear nothing. Because you were told and you were warned. So when I said that, I said, don't you ever come in this house telling me about what we need to just let her. She can just fuck off. Like, I mean, I'm trying to figure out how this is my problem. Why I need to just let her. She just need to fuck off entirely. I mean, fuck out of here. So, I mean, it was so absurd that I just, like, so he got that shit together real quick. He shaped up real quick when I said that. So she paid for it. And then, and this is why I say, sure enough, I said, because the first thing I said was, now you know what's going to happen, don't you? You're going to take this, and there are strings attached to this, because there always is. There is always strings attached when you are dealing with a covert narcissist. Okay? Let's just go on and call it what it is. There are always strings attached. So, you know what happened? I said, you're going to accept this, and then it's going to be that. Then it's going to be, well, you should go use this the whole time. You should go to this place and get your hair cut, going forward. Then it's going to be, well, you need to do this. Well, I think you should do this. And it's going to not involve the wife because we need wife to go away, very far away. We need her to go away. And sure enough, and I said, most of the time, and I said this to him, I said, most of the time, this, I'm not a I told you so person. But motherfucker, I told you so. Because sure enough, he went and got it cut, and here she come. Well, that looks real nice on you, Brandon. You should go get them. You should have them do it full time. He said, yeah, you were right. I was like, I know I was right. I knew I was right beforehand, motherfucker. I knew that. You ain't had to tell me that. You ain't even had to quantify that shit. I been knew that. Like, I knew what the game plan was before there was a game. Like, come on now. I've been dealing with this a little bit too long, baby. I done lived too much for me not to know how this works. She's not the first narc I've ever run into, and she probably ain't the last. So for you to sit up here and act like you ain't see this coming and then had to come back and tell me what? You were right. Okay, this is what dudes love to be like, my wife is never going to, my wife's never going to not be right. I know. And y'all swear y'all right all the time. We are. We are, in fact, right all the time. And when I'm not right, I tell you I ain't right. But in this case, I knew I was right and I knew what was going to happen. So, you got played, sir. But okay. And guess who turned around and came right back to me at the beginning of this month? So babe, you gonna cut my hair? I thought you was gonna go down there to that person your mama sent you to. Since she was so busy calling herself winning. She done won one little skirmish. And she swore she done won the war. Child, she was out here getting ready to get her little victory parade and her little tanks ready and everything to roll through the square. Child, I said, I thought you was gonna go down there and get it. No, you cut my hair. That's literally what he was like. No, you cut my hair. You've been cutting it this whole time and you do a great job. And I really like how you do it. Okay, well, you should have had me do it then. Like, I mean, you just caused yourself unnecessary yip-yapping from somebody gonna take it a goddamn inch and run a 26K with it. You knew you were gonna have that. You knew that was gonna happen. I don't know why you expected anything different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and not getting the same results and expecting something different every time. Guy, you were going to get the same thing. You knew what you was getting. So, as of us doing all of this, talking about this now, the daddy still ain't called him. Father's Day, I think he texted him for Father's Day. The daddy birthday was after the wedding, or no, was before the wedding or something. And it was something, and here she come. Well, did you call your father for stop it. We don't need you to gatekeep it. Go sit down. Be worried about whether or not I speak to you. Do you see this is a recurring theme? We keep having to say these things. And that was my issue with him. He told me, well, we're going to have to sit down and talk to him. We don't need to sit down and do shit. He was like, well, I want you to talk to him because I don't like how he's disrespectful to you. Oh, okay, well, you need to talk to him. You are his child. I am not. I don't need to talk to no grown man about his behavior. He's not my parent. But fine. All right, fine. We'll sit down and talk to him about his behavior. But I'm tired of talking. I'm tired of talking to these two old people about their behavior. I'm tired of talking to two grown people who've had a child together about how y'all act like two toddlers standing on each other's on somebody's shoulders trying to sneak into a movie in a trench coat. Because you seem to think y'all are masterminds and y'all are doing all this behind the scenes to get rid of me, and all it's doing is further entrenching me. All y'all had to do was chill. It might not have even got this far. If y'all had just calmed the fuck down, we might not even be having this conversation about me being in the picture at this point. Who knows? It might have fizzled out. I doubt it. I mean, Brandon and I seem to be perfect for each other, so without too much effort. So I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have been the case, but who knows? We will never know. But now, you done did all this bullshitting and carrying on. You done did all this extra behind the scenes bullshitting. And y'all act like you doing me some kind of favor by even acknowledging my existence. You're not really doing me any favor. Actually, I don't want to talk to either one of you. But okay, fine. But this is my problem. You keep expecting, just because you got one little victory in, how long I said we've been together? 12 years? 12 officially. 13. 13 if you want to be unofficial. Okay. Wait a minute. So you got you a little victory. 1 out of 13 years. You ain't got no other victories. This the one you gonna claim and you gonna roll to get the tanks gassed up. Okay. All right. You be my guest. But your girl here don't care. So I'm not paying these people no mind. I'm really not paying these people no mind, because something wrong with both of them. I'm almost certain. I'm not a licensed psychologist, and y'all know this. Y'all hear me talk about this all the time. When I am talking about the various personality disorders that I encounter on a daily basis, whether it come from my relatives or it come from his parents or the people I work with, I'm pretty certain, I'm not a licensed psychologist, but I'm pretty certain she's a covert narcissist. Because her shit is always behind the scenes. It's never directly in your face. It's never. But when it does rear its ugly head, you know it's narcissism. You already know that it's narcissism. I believe she's a covert narc. I believe I know for a fact he's the enabler. But I believe, and as most people have pointed out, the enabler has narcissistic tendencies too. If they aren't a narc themselves, like full-blown narc. And I believe he has narcissistic tendencies. I don't think he's a full-blown narc. I think he on the way there. He on the journey there, but he's on the spectrum of narcissism, but he's not full-blown extreme like she is. He is very he's very hot and cold. And even when he's hot, there are narcissistic tendencies there, where, because people have told him for years that he's so important and he's doing this great work and he's this great, wonderful, but I'm like, okay, but that's in your job though. What kind of person are you outside of the job? Okay, because I promise you, I sat through a whole ass gala where these people were just, oh, he's so wonderful and he's the greatest person, and I'm like, yeah, in his job though. It's in his job. In his job, listen, top of the field, smart, like principled, super, like I can count on common sense to come out of what he doing. I can count on common sense to come from him. And he makes perfect sense, and it is the right and just thing to do. But outside of it, bruh, completely different person. Where you just like, this can't be the same person. And I'm pretty sure it's me. He's not like this with the brothers-in-law, which is what I was to say. This is important. Why I said that's important, that he was sliding around with brother-in-law one. So I get the vibe that there are two things going on there. One, the Sons-in-law he can relate to. He can't relate to me. We don't have anything in common. Okay, we don't. We don't have anything in common except his son. That's it. Supposedly the well-being and the growth and development of his son. That's supposed to be the things we have in common. But that's it. We don't have things in common at all. Or at least I'm pretty sure he thinks we don't have things in common. We have stuff in common, more than likely. I just wouldn't know it because I don't talk to him, nor do I spend time with him to find out. And he's never made the attempt either. So it works both ways. I have made an attempt to get to know him and spend time with him and learn. I'm like, okay, parent of my significant other, I need to learn about you. I need to find out what stuff you like, stuff you don't like. Like, what do you like as a person? Who are you as a person? I'm joining your family. The least I can do is learn something about you. And we don't, as far as I know, we don't have anything in common. And he probably thinks the same. So right there, he can't relate to me. Also, I don't be all in his face like the other ones do. One of them gave him grandchildren, so there's that. And then the other one, well, they just got married. So grandchildren may or may not be in the picture here, but I personally did not have children. So no, he not getting grandchildren from me. He not. There will never be grandchildren here. So I don't know what to tell him. So there's another thing right there. You ain't getting grandkids from me, so I guess I'm not useful. Then on top of that, I think a lot of it is I don't be all in his face and I don't hero worship him. And I represent a problem. So I am the problem for his ex-wife. And when the ex-wife has a problem dealing with the son, guess who she goes to? So now I'm a problem for him. So yes, if I went away, everything would be great. Because everything can go back to status quo, where I'm no longer the problem. And she doesn't have a problem after that. So yes, I think a lot of it is a combination of all three. It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, and a little bit of column C. And I'm like, okay, I can't make you like me. I can't make anybody like me. I can't make anybody care about me. None of that. So I don't really care whether or not he like me or not anyway. Because at the end of the day, I'm not married to him. I'm married to his son. So I ain't never gonna forget the fact that he literally sat up in the lizard thicket on Elmwood Avenue and told me he didn't like my hair flower in my hair. He thought my hair flowers were weird and didn't come out and say it, but almost corny. And I'm like, and I don't like you. I don't like you either. Guess what? That ain't what your son is after. So I think also too, because I have been married, I'm not some dumb little child that they can just talk any kind of way to. And I am going to just put up with it and be okay. I'm a grown ass woman. This is not my first time at the rodeo. Y'all hear me say that all the time. This is not my first time at the rodeo. So I don't really care what y'all think of me and what you think I should be doing and how you feel about whatever it is I'm doing. I don't care. It don't mean anything to me. At the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything to me. The only person whose opinion I care about is my own. Okay? I don't even care about my husband's necessarily. I mean, I do for certain things. But I know how to be a decent person. And I don't need my husband's opinion to be a decent person. So at the end of the day, I don't really care what he thinks either. Not really. So I think a lot of it is that. And so they take issue with it. And I'm like, well, imagine you not liking me and I'm over here at the house teaching myself how to cartwheel. Like, over here teaching myself how to cartwheel and handstand and rubbing my feet together like crickets. Like, I mean, bye. I don't care. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care. So, yeah. But anyway, that was the saga. That was the saga of the damn tuxedo. It didn't even matter in the end anyway. Oh, and there were other male family members who wore tuxedos, but then there were some who didn't. So it was like, so y'all did all that? All you had to say was just get a tux. That's it. It would have been, and the problem got solved whether or not you were involved or not anyway. So yeah, I'm anticipating when we're gonna have this sit down talk. We're gonna see when we're gonna have this sit down. We'll see. Anyway, I guess I'm going. go do other things. The work week went well. With my bosses gone, it went well. I had the girls on my team. I kept them supplied with assignments. I tried to check in and help when they were working on assignments. It helped that I was sitting in the same room with them the whole time too. But yeah, it went well. And I got a lot of stuff accomplished that I needed to kind of get going and keep things moving. They weren't expecting me to like finish everything. They were expecting things to be done and stuff to be, what could be worked on, at least look at it and try to touch it a little bit. So, I think the week went well. I also did my first, because we do a lot of, or we used to do a lot of social activities for the office. And so this first week we do like Meals on Wheels. And so I did my first week of Meals on Wheels. I went with a guy that I've worked with before, during single audit, and I really like working with him. He's a nice dude. He's a real nice dude. And he does fantastic work. But I really like him a lot. So we went and did it together. Because I had to draft him to go do it real quick. And so we did it real quick. It took us a little less than an hour or so. So it actually took us about an hour and some change. Because we did stop and get something to eat too on the way back. Or at least I did. He got something with me. But yeah, no, it went well. So yeah, I think things are going swimmingly at work. So we'll see when the boss come back on Monday. We're going to see if she agrees that things were done to her liking. Now, Big Boss, who's also on vacation, like I say, both of them are on vacation at the same time. Big Boss said, yeah, the stuff that Lindsay did was fine. I looked at it and I thought it was okay. And I think it's fine. I think you can go ahead and send the request list for this. And I was like, oh, yay. Big Boss said it was good. So that's why I was like, oh, thank God. I was nervous about doing a good job, and I wanted to make sure that we were doing what we were supposed to be doing and helping the engagement move along and keep it moving, because it can very easily bog down and stuff not get done, and then we get behind. So that's why I was like, I was really hoping we could get a lot of things done. And we did. I think we did pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see what she says when boss gets back Monday. I'm hoping this is going to be fine. I told them too, when y'all are gone, everything's on fire, but it'll be all right. It really was not. And I did talk to the big boss the whole time. He would check in with me and how's it going? I'm like, this is what we're doing, and I'm doing this right now, and I have them doing this, and oh, we have questions, and so here we're gonna call you in a minute so we can have a Teams call so we can figure out how this is going to work. But yeah, no, he said it sounds good. Sounds like things are moving along. I was like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. I was trying to do right and have things well in hand. So yeah, we got a lot of work done though. So we'll see. So I want to thank you for watching. Come back and watch more of my videos for Dark Girl Chronicles. Yeah, I'm going to try to keep up a regular schedule and see if we can get some more videos done. But we're going to be all right after this little foolishness. We're going to see what happens here. So thanks for watching. Come back and watch more of my videos at Dark Girl Chronicles. We're in season 5. I may start a new season in a couple of episodes. We'll see. But thanks for watching. Deuces.